AI design is moving fast. It's next to impossible to keep up with everything going on. So I've reviewed tons of AI image generators to find the best tools for print on demand and apparel sellers in 2025. In this episode, I'll bring you up to speed on what's happening with AI t-shirt design and let you know how to use it in the best way. My name's Kerry Egler, and welcome to the Print on Demand Playbook podcast. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Print on Demand Playbook podcast. It's Kerry here with a solo episode. Really excited to be back with you today. I've been gone for a few episodes, and I want to get into today's content pretty quickly, but I just want to let you know kind of what's been going on with me. I've been, telling my community, and I even put out a video kind of just going over some stuff that's been happening in my personal life. But the biggest thing that's happened is about at the time recording this, actually a month ago today, at the time of recording this, we lost my mother-in-law, my wife's mom. And so it's been just insane. It's been crazy. We had the memorial service last week. Very sad situation. She was fairly young, 65. And it's just been a hard time for me and my family. So there's been a little bit of a break in the content for me. And I really appreciate Adrian just kind of picking up the slack for me as I've been gone. But hopefully getting things back to normal just a little bit here. Starting to get there. It's a slow process of just kind of getting back to normal. But obviously this has been a huge shock to our family. And my wife and her family are going through a lot, especially. So I just kind of wanted to bring you up to speed on kind of where I've been, but really excited to be with you today and kind of getting back into podcasting, getting into the content out on my YouTube channel and everything. So excited for that. But anyways, wanted to get that out of the way and just kind of let you know what's been going on with me. Don't want to spend too much time there. But today I want to talk to you about the state of AI t-shirt design, trying to keep it really focused on t-shirt design, print on demand design with AI. We've gone over this in the past, but with AI moving so fast, there's so many changes and so many things happening. I want you to be kind of be up to speed on where AI is at and how you should be using it in the best way. And I want to tease a little bit that there is in my opinion, a pretty big release that just happened that I want to cover. I'm going to cover that later in the episode, so you're going to have to stay tuned for that because I think it's a real game changer in the AI for t-shirt design space. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, but I do want to kind of bring you up to speed. And this all kind of comes from, I did a video the other day for my YouTube channel where I put the same prompt into like 9 different AI image generators to try to see how accurate and how good they are. And it kind of helped me see some of the differences by having all of these AI softwares side by side and being able to look at them all with the same prompt and see how they actually interpreted those prompts and what kind of images came from that. And that's kind of where this kind of came from. And so that was really interesting and helped me kind of narrow it down and see which ones are really performing the best. And so I'm going to go over some of those tools that I think you should be using and why I think they're good tools, and just also talk about some new approaches to AI that I think are coming in the pipeline. So I want to start with this. In the past, I've talked about 2 different approaches when it comes to making AI t-shirt designs. There's really 2 different strategies or 2 different methods that I've taught in the past, and that I really believe are kind of the best ways to use AI when it comes to making your t-shirt designs. So the first way, just to cover these pretty briefly, the first way is using AI to create an element for your t-shirt design. Then you add your extra text or, you kind of tweak it in another software. So let me give you an example of that. Let's say you're using something like Midjourney. Midjourney has been one of my favorite tools in the past. It's a really great AI image generator. And if you're not familiar with these terms, essentially what we're talking about is being able to put in some text and say, show me a picture of a bird, and the software will use AI to generate a picture of a bird, right? So let's say that you went into Midjourney and you generated a picture of a wrench, right? You just type into Midjourney, show me a clip art picture of a wrench, right? And it pops out a wrench. Then you take that wrench over into Photoshop or Canva or Kittl, right? Another graphic design software, and you add some text to it to make it into a t-shirt design for, guys who love to work on stuff, work on cars, right? For mechanics, right? You make it into a mechanic t-shirt. Essentially what you've done is you've used AI to create a part of your t-shirt design, but then you've needed an extra step of bringing that into a graphic design tool to be able to complete that design and add more elements to it. That's kind of number one. That's kind of the first way to use AI in your design. And I think that's still a fantastic way to use AI. The second way, this is kind of taking it to that next level of using AI. The next way is creating a full t-shirt design with AI. Okay, so start to finish, you're just creating the entire t-shirt design. And essentially what you're doing there is you're typing in a text prompt, and maybe you're saying something like, generate a t-shirt design in this style that has these elements. And in some of these tools, you can even have it generate stylized text. You can do that. And so you're generating a full t-shirt design. Then essentially all you need to do is remove the background and then upscale it, make it bigger, and you're ready to use that design to have it printed on a t-shirt or use it in print on demand, in your business. So that's kind of like that next level. So level one, maybe you just create an element and then you use Canva, Kindle, Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever, to kind of add additional elements and finish out that design. Method number two, you're creating the full t-shirt design with AI and essentially just removing the background and then using it in print on demand or having it printed. But we're starting to see a third idea, a third way that you could potentially use AI. Spoilers, this is not the big reveal that I want to talk about later in this podcast, but this is really cool and this is new, and it's something that I think could be where we are going when it comes to AI t-shirt design or AI design in general. Are you looking to start, grow, or scale a profitable online apparel or print on demand business this year? And you're trying to figure out how do you even get started? If so, I want to invite you to go watch my free class over at shirtschool.com. Since 2019, Shirt School has helped thousands of people from around the globe start, grow, and scale profitable online apparel businesses. And in that free class, I will be teaching my Shirt School system that has helped those people sell thousands and thousands of t-shirts over the last 5.5 years. So if you want to check out that free class, just head over to shirtschool.com and give it a watch. Back to the content. This third idea is the idea of using AI to generate a fully editable t-shirt design. Okay. What do I mean by that? Essentially, what I mean is being able to go into an AI and say, generate a t-shirt design that says, I love mom, right? And with a heart, right? So you get a t-shirt design from AI that says, I love mom, and it has a heart on it. Okay. Simple design. But now what you could potentially do with this new idea is you could fully edit that design, meaning you could select the heart and change the color. You could select the heart and maybe replace it with a different heart. You could edit the text. So you could highlight the text just like you would do in like a Kindle or a Canva or a Photoshop, and you could change the font and you could change the color, right? So you could easily edit anything in that design. I want you to kind of just imagine that for a second, how revolutionary that would be in the world of AI to actually be able to not only generate an element, but not only generate a t-shirt design, but fully generate an editable t-shirt design where you could edit all the elements of that. Now, this is one of the top questions I get when I'm talking to students inside of my Shirt School program, when I'm talking to students inside of my AI Profit Club, or just on YouTube and throughout social media when I put out content. I get this question a lot. And the question is, how do I generate a design and then edit it, right? Like, how do I use AI and then how do I edit it? And I think naturally, we think that that's how it should work, right? Is that we generate a design and then we're able to just fully edit it. But we're not quite there yet, right? We're not quite there. But I think that's where we are going and where we should be going, is where we can fully edit the text, change the font, change the color, switch out the elements, or generate new elements, or change the color of elements, right? That's where we should be going. And so The only company that I have seen trying to do this right now is Kittl, Kittl. I know most of our listeners, you're familiar with Kittl, and I'm going to be talking about Kittl a lot in this episode. And not because I want to promote Kittl, I just really feel like they are doing the most for not only graphic designers, but print on demand and apparel and custom printed merchandise sellers like me and you in the world of AI and design. They're doing the coolest things. Okay. And so Kittl has come out with a beta feature that is an AI design generator, which is fully editable. Now, my kind of like caution, my note on this is it's not that great yet. It's not that great yet, but it is really, really cool, and it's fun to experiment with. It's really fun to kind of play with, and it does what it says it does. It just doesn't quite have the generation power that you would want from it yet. So if you want to try this out, I would encourage you to try it out because it is very cool. I don't know how useful it is yet because it's still in beta, but it is very cool. I would encourage you to load up a Kittl blank, canvas in Kittl, hit the Kittl AI button down on the bottom left, and there is a option called Design Generator, and it says generate editable designs from a text prompt. If you click on that, there it says, I want to make a logo, t-shirt, sticker, poster, social post, advert. Okay, you can select something like a t-shirt. You can type in some text there. There's a few other options, and it's going to generate a fully editable design where you can change that font. You can change the text. You can even, morph the text and change it. You can change out the elements, anything you want to do with it. It will do that. I would encourage you to go play with that. I think this is the future of AI design. I think I'm hopeful that we will see more of this, but currently I only see Kittl. Kittl's the only one that I see doing this. So applaud Kittl for trying this and kind of working on it. I think it's really, really cool. So the next thing I want to say is I just want to throw this note out there that in talking about these softwares that I'm talking about and these different approaches, I'm aware that there are a ton of really small AI software companies popping up out there that might be useful to us as print on demand and apparel sellers. But for me, it's impossible to keep up with all of them, right? I'm trying to test out as many as I can. I'm trying to kind of keep up to date on this stuff. But with how fast AI is moving and with how fast new software companies are popping up, I'm getting like tons of them on my ads on Instagram, Facebook every single day. And they look like they might do cool things, but I don't really know yet. I haven't been able to test out all of these. So I want to ask for your help. If you're a listener out there and you're using a software that I don't know about, that maybe isn't mentioned in this podcast that you really love and that you're getting a lot of value out of, and maybe has a cool feature that you think is really useful, would you please just send that to me on Instagram? Go over to Instagram, look me up. It's at Kerry Egler, KerryEgler. We'll leave that link down in the show notes. But go follow me on Instagram and shoot me a DM and just tell me about the tool. So rather than me trying to go through every new tool that I see pop up on my feed, I would love it if you just DM'd me if there's an AI tool that you're using that you're getting a lot of value out of, because I know there's probably some great ones out there that I haven't been able to try yet. And so maybe I could get 3 or 4 or 10 from you guys that I could test. And maybe you guys will message me and I'll say the same one. That's probably what will happen because there's probably one I'm missing. And I'd love to go review it and really see what's out there. But in my, from the ones that I've reviewed and the research that I've done, this is kind of in this podcast episode is kind of where I'm at. So as I mentioned earlier, the other day I did an experiment with AI image generators, and I did this for a YouTube video. And essentially what I did is I pulled up 9 of the top, what I would consider the top AI image generators. And I used a prompt from a t-shirt design that was generated for a t-shirt design. And I used that same prompt throughout those 9 image generators because I wanted to see, number one, what was most useful, what image generators created the most useful designs for print on demand sellers, and number two, how close was the generated design to the old image. So I had an image that was generated with AI, and I wanted to see how close I could get to that image by just entering the prompt into other AI image generators. Hopefully that's not too confusing, but it kind of opened my eyes to something. There's something that I realized, and I've been thinking about this for a while, but this kind of really put it in perspective. AI, there is a disconnect between us, graphic designers, apparel designers, print on demand sellers, and most AI image generation tools. There's a disconnect. It's almost like these image generators or these softwares, they're not aware that we're out here and we want to use these for t-shirt design, because the images that come out, they just really they don't look like they're designed for t-shirts. Hopefully that makes sense. And these software companies are not catering to our community. We're a really large community, in my opinion. Like, there's a ton of t-shirt sellers, apparel sellers, print on demand sellers, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people. They aren't catering to us with the features that they're adding. I would say this: the images are getting better. These AI image generators are moving really fast, and they're making a lot of updates, and the images are getting higher quality and more realistic, but they're not necessarily better for what we need. Hopefully that makes sense. These images look more real. If you're trying to generate an image of a real person, or you're trying to create some, super interesting style for maybe an abstract art or some kind of art piece, like, yeah, they're really cool. Or maybe you're using it for social media, different things. There's lots of different use cases for it. But for us as t-shirt and apparel designers, they're not getting better for what we need specifically. Is we want to use it for t-shirt design. And I feel like if these software companies, if just a couple of them would start focusing on adding features and upgrading their software for us, like more for graphic designers, you could say, there would be a lot of opportunity there, and we could potentially see a lot of cool features. So that's the first thing I want to say. It's kind of what I realized. But that all being said, I have identified 3 tools, 3 AI image generators that I believe are catering to us as print on demand and apparel sellers, and they are coming out with new features for us specifically. And I'm just going to reveal these right off the top. You're probably already aware of the ones that I'm going to talk about, because I've talked about these a lot. And doing this experiment and going through 9 or 10 of the top AI image generators, it really showed me like, hey, these are the best for what we do. They have the best features for what we do. And those 3 are Ideogram, Ideogram, talked about them a lot. Kittl, Kittl, talked about them a lot. And lastly, Recraft, Recraft. Okay, so I want to go through these and kind of, and the last one that I'm going to talk about, which is Kittl, I'm going to tell you about a new feature, not the design generator I talked about earlier, but another new feature they just launched literally today as I'm recording this, that is just wild. And it's really cool. So let's start with Recraft, though. I want to talk about Recraft because I've probably talked about Recraft the least out of these 3 tools. And a lot of people have signed up for Recraft kind of on my recommendation, mainly because Recraft has this feature where you can turn any image into a like realistic mock-up. What do I mean by that? Because that might be a little bit confusing. So let's say that I just go take a picture of my wife wearing a blank t-shirt, right? Or even a t-shirt with stuff on it. I take a picture of her, okay? And I just load that I'll take a picture of my phone, load that into Recraft, okay? There's a button in there where I can turn that image into a mock-up. So I hit that turn into a mock-up button. What that allows me to do is that it then allows me to drag in another design, like a t-shirt design from my computer, just drag it in there, and it will realistically lay that image onto the picture of my wife and make it look like it is actually printed on the t-shirt. When I say it's magic, like, it is literally magic. Like, it blows my mind every time I see it. You can do the same thing with mugs. You can do the same thing with wall art. I mean, anything you can think of, it can turn it into a realistic mock-up. To take that a step further, Recraft does a really good job of generating realistic mock-ups. So if I just wanted to generate a picture of a model wearing a hoodie and then add a design on it, it's awesome. That, to me, is one of the standout features of Recraft, and as you can imagine, is a very useful feature for us as t-shirt and apparel sellers. But what it also does is it actually has a couple things: really good AI image generation, and it also has a lot of graphic design tools that you can use to kind of edit. So I want you to imagine that you've kind of fused together a this is a hard comparison because I don't want it to sound like Kittle. It's probably going to sound like Kittle when I do it, but I think Kittle is different to me. But I kind of want you to imagine. Here's how I would explain it. So I want you to imagine fusing kind of a Photoshop together with an AI image generator, which you have those options in Photoshop. And I'm stumbling here a little bit, but let me kind of try to explain this. And especially if you're listening on audio, hopefully I'm not getting too confusing. So let's compare it to Kittle real quick. Kittle, in my opinion, is a graphic design tool that with AI features. So similar with Canva. Canva is a graphic design tool with AI features. Now, I want you to imagine Recraft is the reverse. Recraft is an AI tool with graphic design features. Okay, so from everything kind of starts in Recraft with the AI, generating an AI image or turning something into a mockup, right? But then it also has brushes and rectangles and lines and all these different things, eraser, all these different things that you can do that are really good for adding different things in to your and editing things in your image. So that's kind of how I would think about it. On the image generation side of Recraft, actually generating like a t-shirt design, because that's the theme of this episode, right? Is we want to generate t-shirt designs. What I love about Recraft is they have a ton of styles that you can select from. Let me kind of go through these styles with you, just a few that might be useful. So when you go to generate an image, and specifically we want to generate a t-shirt image, right? You have styles like vector art, very useful for t-shirt design. You have illustration, could also be useful. Then under illustration tab, there's actually all of these different styles. You have hand-drawn, grain, bold sketch, pencil sketch, retro pop, clay. These are like, if you look at some of these, if you look in Recraft, really, really good potentially for t-shirt designs. Then if we scroll down to vector art, under the vector art category, they have line art, lino cut, chemistry, colored stencil, as well as a bunch of others, like really cool. Then we have a graphic design style. These are all for generating images. You have prestige emblem, pop graphics, stamp, vintage emblem. I mean, super cool. Vector logo category, where you have typographic logo, geometric logo, handwritten logo. These are all styles that you could use for t-shirts, apparel, or different things. And then they have a ton. There's probably 100 different styles here. Maybe not 100, maybe like 50, 60 different styles here that you could use. Some of them are not going to be as useful for t-shirt design, but there's a lot of really, really cool styles for t-shirt design specifically. And it does a really good job of generating useful t-shirt designs. So Recraft is really great because it's got incredible styles to choose from with great image generation for t-shirt designs. It's got some graphic design tools built in to be able to edit those designs. And it also has the ability to create those really realistic mock-ups. It's just a really great tool. Like, it's a really great tool. I'm spending a lot of time here and I want to move on, but man, Recraft is really, really cool. Okay. The next one I want to talk about is Ideogram. Okay. Ideogram. I believe, and I've talked about Ideogram a lot. I believe Ideogram is the best AI image generator specifically for generating stylized text. Okay. What do I mean by that? If you want to have text in your design, then AI kind of struggles with that a little bit. Okay. AI struggles with that just a little bit. Ideogram does not struggle nearly at all. It is so good at creating really beautiful stylized text, meaning you can put in even a long sentence and it is able to generate text that has those exact words on it, right? So this is useful for t-shirt and apparel sellers because oftentimes we create designs that have text on them incorporated into the design, and Ideogram is by far the best for that. So if I wanted to create that t-shirt, as I said earlier, that said, "I love mom" and has a heart, Ideogram could create a beautiful t-shirt design from just one prompt where I tell it, include the text, I love mom. And I can specify the style, right? I can tell it I want it bold, or I want it, this certain style. It's really, really good. If you haven't tried Ideogram, I would encourage you to go test it out for yourself. They do have a free plan that you can kind of play with and use it. Ideogram is so good for that. And it does have some other features, but that's the biggest and most useful feature of Ideogram. On top of that, and this is leading me into my kind of big reveal here of that just kind of blew my mind, news release today. They just released, this is going to lead into that, but Ideogram just released their 2A model. So Ideogram 2.0 has been kind of their newest model. They just released Ideogram 2A, which is, they say, is their fastest and most affordable text-to-image model to date, optimized for graphic design and photography. So this is a kind of a new language model that they have, an advancement on 2.0, and it's faster and more affordable, meaning that it costs you even less. It was already really affordable, but it costs you even less to use Ideogram, and it's going to generate even faster. So it's just even better, right? Just kind of an upgraded. Think about an iPhone 6 coming out and then an iPhone 6S, right? This is kind of that S version, right? Just a little bit more advanced. So they just came out with this 2A version. It's faster, it's more affordable. Okay, that's going to lead me into so Ideogram's amazing. We love Ideogram. I love Ideogram. That's going to lead me into my last tool, which is Kittl. As I mentioned, I'm going to talk about some of the features inside Kittl as far as the AI goes, but then I'm going to tell you kind of what they just released today that just really blew my mind. So first of all, Kittl's an amazing graphic design tool. It really is. I think Kittl is the best for t-shirt and apparel sellers. Now, Canva's amazing. I think that's their most direct competitor, but Canva tries to cater to everyone, right? Social media designers and YouTubers and any kind of creator. They cater to kind of everybody. Kittl is, I believe, more focused on people like us who are more graphic design focused and maybe are creating t-shirt designs, apparel designs, wall art, print on demand, those kind of things. So they kind of cater to us, and they have amazing features. But they've been rapidly coming out with so many great AI features. Some of the ones that I love the most, I love their vectorizer feature where you can just turn any image into a vector image. They have kind of features where you can recreate images and use the images as use any image as kind of inspiration for that image and recreate it. They have background remover. They have tons of different things in there. Really, really useful tools. I've got it up on my computer right now just to kind of to show you those. If we click on the Kittl AI button inside of a Kittl project, you have an image generator, you have a sets generator, create graphic packs with consistent styling. We have image restyle where you can change an image style and keep the same content. Really cool. And then we have that design generator I talked about where you can generate editable designs from a text prompt. So if you haven't used Kittl, it's amazing. The AI is pretty good, but what they just released today really blew my mind. So today, Kittl just announced that they have integrated Ideogram 2A inside of Kittl. I think this is an absolute game changer for Kittl and AI in general. So what do I mean by this? So as I mentioned, Ideogram is one of my favorite tools, AI tool. It's my favorite AI tool for sure. Kittl is my favorite graphic design tool. And now they're not becoming one company. Kittl is just using the Ideogram 2A language model in their AI. So what that means is you can actually generate ideogram images inside Kittl. Crazy. Blew my mind. Okay. So essentially how you do this, it's very simple. If you've used Kittl before, you'll know kind of where to go. But if you open up a brand new Kittl project, okay, and you click on the Kittl AI button down on the left, there's a little magic button, and then you click on the image generator, you can now go over to advanced. So it's by default, it's on turbo, but you can go over to advanced and you can actually select either DALL-E 3, Flux 1.1 Pro, or ideogram. And it specifically says ideogram is great for graphic design. Why is this a game changer? Because as I mentioned earlier, ideogram is the best for generating stylized text. Now you can generate that stylized text right inside of Kittle using ideogram. It's crazy. It's crazy. I've been playing with it just a little bit and I'm really impressed, mainly because even selecting ideogram as the language model in Kittle, you still have a bunch of different styles below that. You have vector styles such as vector art, coloring book, line art, these kind of different things, t-shirt graphic, clip art styles, typography styles. There's a lot of styles you can select from, and it does a really good job of using ideogram and that style together with your prompt to create things that are very, very useful. I really encourage you to go check this out. If you have Kittle or if you haven't signed up for Kittle, you can go over to shirtschool.com/Kittle, Kittl. That's my link. If you want to use my link, I'm an affiliate for Kittle, which, you're welcome to use that if you want. You don't have to. Shirtschool.com/Kittle. You can get 25% off your first month or your first year with my code. It's EGLERYT, EGELERYT. So shirtschool.com/Kittle, discount code EGLERYT, EGELERYT. That gets you 25% off your first month or your first year. Quick plug for that. But this is really a game changer. And I think the question that it begs, like the question I would ask is, do we need ideogram? Do we need ideogram if we already have Kittle and this feature is inside of Kittle? For me personally, I'm going to be keeping both because I love ideogram and I love some of the other features and different options that they have. I'm a big fan of ideogram, and I want to still have that ideogram software. And there's some other things that I do in there that I would want to have that for. But for a lot of people, if you are a Kittle user and you've been using Kittle and ideogram together, which is something that I've recommended for a while, you can evaluate if you need ideogram for what you're doing, if you can use ideogram inside Kittle. So, that's a question I think you should definitely ask. And, I'm going to leave it there. Those are my 3 favorite tools in 2025. That's kind of where I think things are at. I would like to see a lot more AI image generation tools come our way a little bit, add features for us. But these are the 3, with it being Recraft, ideogram, and Kittle, that I really feel like are pioneering the print-on-demand apparel world with AI design. So I hope this has been a super helpful episode for you today, and I'm excited to see you in the next one. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Print on Demand Playbook Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please leave us an honest review on whichever platform you're listening from. Thanks again and have a great day.